Hey, what is going? Let's try that again. What's going on, everybody? My name is Ben. Welcome to What's Going On, the show where we all just hang out. I invite some people on. We tell some stories. We see what some connections are. I can see that my internet connection is not great, so I don't know if I'm coming through. I don't know if you can hear me, but I hope you can. Matt Fear,
Hi, buddy.
What's going on?
I know you haven't introduced me yet. I'm sorry.
I'm glad you hopped in. If I tell a story, then it's going to be about my internet woes for sure. But let's tell some stories. Let's get some people in here. Some of my favorite people from around the country are here. We're gonna bring them in. So
yeah,
everybody, say hello to Michelle and Nick and Shruti and Brandi and Adi. Hey, friends, how are you?
Good.
Welcome to the show. Let's go around and introduce ourselves to the audience. The audience, you're a very important part of this show, viewers out there. We're going to be telling stories, but so are you. So if you got questions for anybody, if you have comments on the stories, if it reminds you of a story that you'd like to share, throw it in the chat. We'll throw it up on screen. We'll probably end up talking about it. That'll be a lot of fun. So to get to know everybody, let's go around and introduce ourselves and what we do. You know, plug whatever we want to plug and all that jazz. Let's start with you, Michelle.
Hi, I'm Michelle, and I'm currently in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. But I know most of these amazing humans from when I was in Boston for a few years. And so currently I have my own theater called Improv MKE. We've been all online pretty much because I found a space a week before the shutdown. Get excited. I teach a lot for my school as well as Will Hines, World's Greatest Improv School. And yeah, that's pretty much me.
Yeah, that's awesome. I was saying to Michelle before we came on, but you've been crushing it, and it's been awesome to see. So very psyched about that, and very psyched to have you here.
Thank you.
Dee, what's going on?
Dee, you're muted.
Dee, you're muted. It's okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what's going on is my baby is asleep.
Nice.
Congratulations.
We'll all mute ourselves. It's fine.
It was so high stakes. I got her down around like 8:20 and she stayed down. And then at 8:50, she lost her pacifier and put it back in, and she's been fine since then. So that is what is presently going on.
That's only been like 17 minutes. So she's only been asleep for like 17.
We're at such a crucial juncture right now. She's been anyway. I could ramble about my baby's sleep routine.
This is good. Baby sleep watch. The baby is asleep, and let's hope it stays that way.
I have a lot of important stuff to plug. I'm in QAW, Quarantine Action Wrestling, on Thursday nights on this wonderful network, and that is it. That is my only project.
And raising two wonderful children.
That's right. Oh, and I am on production for a new show that just premiered on Sunday called Showing Up on 2MB, which is a social justice program where we talk about some organizing that's happening in the area. We just had our premiere, and it did great. And so
did really well.
Very exciting as well.
Awesome.
That first episode was amazing. It was really great to hear those women's stories. That was really cool.
Yeah, I was very, very delighted by that one.
Thanks for doing it.
Yeah.
Nick, what's going on?
Ben, thanks for having me. This is so cool. Oh boy, not much. Okay, so what's going on this week is absolutely nothing. There's nothing happening this week. I'm so excited about that because it is the calm before the storm. Because next week I'm headed. I guess the thing that I'm plugging is that I'm going to Louisville to try and buy a house next week. Maybe.
In Louisville?
In Louisville, yeah. I love Louisville, and there's a very exciting Senate race coming up in 2022. We're 99% sure that Charles Booker is going to try and go for Rand Paul's seat. Rand Paul is we could swear here, so he's a piece of shit. He's a giant shit, and the people of Kentucky know it. And I guess what I'm pitching is that Louisville doesn't have a comedy theater, and I don't want to do it. I don't want to make one. I really don't. I know I've seen Michelle struggles. I know that it is hard, and I don't want to do it. So anybody else, though,
you're pitching us coming with you to Louisville. Is what you're pitching.
Yeah. It's a great town, and property values are very, very low. It's a real affordable place to buy a house. So,
have you been to 4th Street yet?
Yeah, I love 4th Street. Yeah, 4th Street is great. 4th Street is delightful. And right around the corner because there's like an outdoor mall, right, called like 4th Street Live.
Yeah.
Right around the corner from there is a bar in a parking garage called 3rd Street Dive, which I assume is a pun on the other one. I don't know which came first, though. I don't know if they did like this big civic project and then just like, we'll riff on this shitty dive bar. But I think
nested bar came second.
What was that,
I
Robot?
think shitty love. Yeah, I don't know which came first. I'm pretty sure 4th Street Live came first. Anyway, Louisville, that's what I'm plugging.
Plugging the city of Louisville.
Yeah.
I love it. Brandi, welcome.
Hello.
Plug stuff. What's going on? Where can people see you? What are you up to?
Well, I'm going to be headlining at Flappers in Burbank, but on the internet, so I'll be in Minneapolis. My friend Calvin Cato in New York is going to be opening for me, so that's on the 10th of April. So come through that. Buy tickets, please. Yeah, Flappers. I don't know what their website is, but it's Flappers. Yeah, that's about it. It snowed yesterday, and now it's gone. And yeah.
It's gone?
Yeah. Mostly.
It's just gone.
It's just gone.
It's gone. It's not there.
Yeah.
That is my favorite kind of snow, though. I call that Hollywood snow, where it like looks really good and then it goes away. And it
was that wet,
really...
heavy stuff, so yeah.
Didn't even look good. Well, welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Shruti, what's going on?
Hi. Applying for jobs and writing cover letters and sending them into the abyss and never hearing back. But on the side, I've taken a lot of this time to start a little side gig. It's called Doghouse Arts. I paint custom paintings based on what people ask me. And I've only done it for a month now and sold 7.
Wow.
So that's pretty sweet.
Fantastic.
But yeah, other than that, not much. I'm in virtual improv on the Manager's comedy channel. And I also do Sex With Me, 69 Minutes on this amazing channel here and there every few weeks on Fridays.
That's fantastic. That's a great show. I really like that show.
Yeah, Shruti, you're better at this than me. I should have plugged that too. God damn it.
It's all right. Rachel plugged that for you in the chat, Nick. So it's okay. Rachel's watching out for you.
Can I ask, Shruti, what have you painted so far? What have people requested?
All types of things. I try to make it custom. Someone we all know, but they ask for like their family members floating in the sky near a tree house.
Are you not allowed to say their name?
Pictures. Well, I don't. It's a surprise.
Okay.
Out, so I don't want to spoil anything. So I was just like, okay, let me try to make these people not look like Casper ghosts haunting the treehouse. But it's fun. It's been awesome. And then different people's dogs in front of their homes, in front of their old homes, and their passed away dogs. All kinds of different scenarios.
Do you have a memorial?
Huh?
Like as a memorial, people ask you, "Did you say passed away dogs?"
Yeah.
Oh.
Or like an old dog that was in their old home, so they can memorialize both.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, that's so sweet.
Another
Yeah.
cool gig has been closings for realtors. So when a realtor closes a home, they'll want to give a gift to the person they sold the home to. What better than a painting of the house you're moving into, So.
That's a cool idea.
I love that. Well, welcome to the show. And Matt, what's going on, bud?
Oh, hi. How are you? Hi, everybody. My name is Matt. I'm one of the founders of this channel. So I want to plug the whole channel. As a whole, I would like to plug this channel. I also host a morning show every Monday morning. A few of you have been on the show. Anybody that doesn't want to come on my show, I don't get upset with them because it's early on a Monday. Nobody wants to wake up that early. But it's super fun. It's called Hello World. We get some really cool guests and some musical guests and comedians and all kinds of writers and artists come through and chat with my friend Chloe and myself.
It's really a cool show. The whole tone of it is you guys aren't like the annoying people that morning shows usually. Morning shows are usually like too bubbly and it's fake, and like you can't deal with that level of fake at 7 a.m. But you and Chloe are friends, and it comes through, and it's really fun just to watch you talk to people. And Rachel, who books a lot of the people on that show, the guests are always like super fantastic, right? So
super fun,
very interesting, very fun show. You should totally watch that show.
Yeah. I got to chat with the guy that wrote this comic book, or this comic book right here called Infinitum. Tim Fielder, really cool dude. This is an awesome graphic novel, and he came on to my show and chatted with me, and then I bought his book, and his book is amazing. It's such a cool. It's an Afrofuturist graphic novel.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's
very cool. Very cool. Awesome. Well, we're gonna just jump right into the show, and hopefully my internet will stay solid here. I don't know what's going on, but I appreciate y'all for bearing with me. Michelle, why don't you hop in? Here's how the show works. You're just gonna tell a story. It can be a story from your personal life, or it can be a story that you read in the newspaper that's not political. That's just something interesting. And then we're just going to talk about it, and we're going to see where the conversation goes, and go from there.
Okay. Well, I thought about a story of the first time I thought I was going to die. So
I didn't mean to laugh at that. I just thought it was
it's kind of funny.
I also like how you said the first time you thought you were going to die.
There's a lot there.
Prefaced it.
Wait, I just want to know right out the gate. Do you have a number of times?
I don't have an exact number, but if I look back at my history of my emails, I would have an exact number, actually. What's that?
Are you a cat?
I am. It's a secret, though. Don't tell anyone else.
Do you have a search string that you could plug into Gmail that would return to you very quickly, all of the... you're just
I'm getting there.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to jump ahead, please.
No, you're good. So I was 17. I'm 17. I'm going to Spain for a few weeks. It's my junior year in high school, and I'm on the plane. It's a great plane ride. I'm with a bunch of my friends, and all of a sudden I am like, oh, I'm going to die. My body just told me. I got really really pale. I got really I was sweating but cold.
And the plane was in the air, or had you not taken off?
Plane was in the air.
Oh.
Plane was in the air. We were going where we were going, and I was just like, oh, this is how it ends. I don't know what these things are that are going on in my body. The stewardess, they just put me in their area. And I'm they just had me put my head between my legs. I wasn't going to, I didn't feel like I was going to, toss my cookies or anything. I just knew I was going to die. And So that happened. We got there, and I was fine. I didn't die, but
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
Spoiler alert! I'm still alive right now. So it worked out. But then every flight I go on, I feel like I pass out. So I discovered that I pass out on airplanes. I had Googled it. I didn't know what it was. Nobody else, I guess, this happened to except for me and my dad. Like this, and it happens all the time. Flash forward to like a year or two ago, and I was sick, and my doctor had given me some medicine, and I was like, oh, there's something in this medicine that's making me feel like I'm gonna pass out. And she was like, she asked me all these questions like rapid fire, and she's like, well, I don't want to sound dismissive or anything, but it just sounds like you're a fainter. And I was like, what? And she's like, yeah, there's nothing in the medicine that would make you, pass out or anything. And she's like, it's called vasovagal syncope. And it's hereditary, because she had one of the questions she asked, is anybody else in your family? I was like, yeah, this happens to my dad. Sometimes we pass out, but there's something in the medicine. She's like, no, your adrenaline goes. Yeah, she's like, your adrenaline goes up, you don't feel it, and then it comes crashing down, and you pass out. So I felt like one of those fainting goats. Like I get scared, I don't know why, and then I just go. I
think
Just
Josh
having the knowledge-
Gondelman wrote that in his book. It was like the first chapter. He has that too.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
No.
It can happen with women when they're pregnant. Have you been pregnant your entire life?
Maybe.
I mean,
Who knows
if you're
what's
gonna
gonna
get
happen?
pregnant, if you're gonna get pregnant, Spain, you could do worse places than Spain. Like that's a good place. That's a fine place to get pregnant.
Right?
I wonder if the knowledge of what's going on is ever enough to sort of like if you feel it coming on, can you be like, I know what this is now?
Yeah.
That's interesting to me.
It sucks. It happens at the worst times too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Are there good times to faint?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
There might be good times to be like presciently aware of coming death. Though. At least that's what some of the Greeks believed.
Some of the Greeks were like,
Do you
no,
have
I don't
names?
want this
their
knowledge.
names. I want
Real
their names, and
look.
I want to talk to them.
This real shitty Greek dude I know. Yeah, there was the skeptics. The skeptics believed that like being conscious of your own mortality and like keeping that front of mind and like having reminders of your own mortality was had like an enriching and elongating factor on your life. You treasured your time and the people around you more, knowing that everything was temporary and yeah.
I've heard that echoed a lot by like free climbers and people who do extreme sports and push themselves to a limit where they're like, it actually makes me enjoy my life outside of that as well, even more, which is a weird thing to me. I'm like, I would not do the thing that makes me maybe die.
Nope.
But
Does going on planes or taking antibiotics make you feel more alive, Michelle? Is that?
Nope. Nope. But it does make me tell the flight attendants, and like for some reason, so I haven't flown since November of 2019 now, but now when I tell people, they freak out. Before they were just like fine with it. I'd just be like, oh, hey, sometimes I might need a cold compress or a towel. But like I told this last guy when I flew to New York in November 2019, and he's like, okay, I'll be right back. He brings back like 4 other people who work on the plane. And I have to like reiterate, I'm like, I'll be fine. I literally just need water and maybe a cold compress. But like, they just like, I'm like, it's a thing. Like you can Google it. Like
I'm surprised that more people don't. I'm surprised they don't deal with that more. Right? You'd think that there'd be a fainter on a fainter on every plane.
Right.
That's my promise to you. A fainter on every plane.
Vote for Matt.
What sucks is like people think that like I'm scared of flying, but I'm not afraid of flying.
That's actually awesome. That's the most impressive part about this whole story.
Yeah.
Is that you do regularly still get on planes. That's
Oh
amazing.
yeah, I
I
have
wonder if you
to.
could like do this on purpose to somebody, like just as like a prank. You're like, this about you, but maybe somebody else doesn't, and I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I want to go back real quick to the doctor who just said you might be a fainter.
Yeah.
Like do they say that to everyone? Like if someone has a heart attack, they're like, you might be a heart attacker.
I know. I had the same thought. It sounded like I was out of Deliverance, right? So, y'all might be fainters.
Well, looks like we got ourselves a fainter.
We got a fainter.
Oh man.
Another damn fainter.
Oh, a fainter is such a weird thing too, because like I know people. Does that count for the people who faint when they give blood? Because I know a couple of those people, but
Maybe.
that feels maybe different because you are taking a liquid from my body.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Do you think,
With
do you think
permission.
giving blood is like the only time people faint when liquids are taken from their body? I'm just
Every time you pee.
Every
I'm
time.
wondering
Every
if
time.
I'm wondering if like the urology clinic has this problem, if sperm banks have this problem.
Yeah.
I've just got questions.
Last
Like
time I
people-
donated sperm, I passed out.
Well,
all those
I will
all those salivating Pavlov's dogs are just
Every
right
time people
out.
have to take a COVID test with spitting, they just pass out.
Oh man.
I faint at
All
least
right.
once per stream.
Mm.
I only pass out when I'm streaming.
Her stream.
Stream, yeah. Thank
Yeah,
you.
Grace. I feel like Grace from the chat was saying that she's about somebody fainted after piercing the ears, and I've seen or heard about that before as well. Which is Grace. What do you do in that situation? You just like dump them outside the place?
Just dump 'em outside. You push them out the back of the Claires.
Yep.
You were never here.
This actually brings up an important thing that I want to talk about, which is we don't use general anesthetic nearly enough in this country. I don't know why. You have to be awake to get your ears pierced. Knock me the fuck out for that shit. I don't want to be awake for that. I don't want to be awake in the Claires. I don't want to be awake in the Claires.
I feel
don't
like I
want
would
that.
get. I feel like I would get more tattoos if I could get put under. Right, like I think I would be covered in tattoos.
Yeah.
If I could go in and say, "Hey,
Yeah.
put me out," and then
Yep.
I feel like that's one that should be allowed. I don't know. I don't know anything about anesthesia. It probably definitely shouldn't, but
I feel like it would drive up the cost of ear piercings.
I feel, and maybe
that's good for the economy.
Insurance always should have covered that.
in all fairness to my, I'm about to say something real dumb, and I realize that it's dumb, but I almost
here
said it
for you,
without
bud.
realizing it, which was maybe they don't let you pass out and get a tattoo because the idea of anesthesia and pain from the tattoo, it would not be a good mix. But like you literally get cut open, so I'm sure that hurts just as much to your body, if not more than just a little needle sticking
Yeah,
you. a whole
yeah.
bunch.
I don't understand
I'm
why you
sure a
can't
lot
get
of
numbed
people-
up before a tattoo. Like, we could at least do localized anesthesia.
Yeah, what's going on there? That whole
Ooh.
industry.
Like,
Brandi, because
Novocaine.
why not? Why not? If I could take the gas, sure, that would be fun.
I mean, I was on gas yesterday. It was awesome. I went to the dentist. I love going to my dentist. He's very liberal with gas.
Would he do tattoos as well as like root canals? Would he
He
do
might.
like?
He might. I think he offers Botox if you want it. I'm not even kidding.
We need to
Wow.
go back to the days where dentists would do it all. Barber. I'm sorry.
Barber.
It was barbers that would do it. They would do dentistry. But it's fine. Like, I wish
Isn't
they
a
would help me
barber
out
who
for
does
my
a
haircut.
dentist, a
I-
barber or dentist.
That used to be the thing. You would go get your haircut, and they would also mess around with your teeth.
Yeah, they
They'd
would do
also do
whatever.
like bloodletting and stuff.
Yeah, they put
Yeah.
a leech on you, cut your hair.
Make sure that you had all your teeth.
The old country barber.
Well, Michelle, we applaud the fact that you face your fear every time you fly. It's not even a fear, but you face was it a fear of fainting before you knew what was going on? Was there like a what is happening to me?
It was like I thought I was going to die and I didn't know what was happening. And
that sounds terrifying.
It was awful. It was absolutely awful. And then it would happen on every flight after that. But then my dad just told me not to eat sugar. This was his way of dealing with it before he knew he had it too. He's like, don't eat sugar 4 hours before you fly and drink lots of water. And so I did that. I would still pass out, but it lessened it somehow.
Yeah.
Only planes? Do you do it on like trains and other modes of transport, like a ferry?
Automobiles.
Oh man, it happens at weird times. It's never happened on a train.
Oh,
it hasn't happened. Well, no, it has happened on a plane. Damn it! I was trying to Dr. Seuss that. And it just didn't work.
Happened on a boat, maybe crossing over a moat. Who's to say?
It's the Dr. Seuss choralery. Michelle, has it ever happened either during or right before a performance?
Yes, actually, before my second to last performance before shutdown. So I think it was like March 7th last year, something like that. And yeah, I had, well, that one was a little bit of an anxiety attack, and then it made it go worse. And then I was fine, but I almost passed out. Yeah, it was bad.
Anxiety attacks do share that sense of like, well, I'm dying, right? Like
Yeah.
your body like releases all the stuff, and you're like, well, that's it.
Yeah.
Brains are crazy. Brains are these weird things. They just do things, and you're like, why did you do that? I really quick. I know we got to move on, but one time I was sitting on a rooftop bar with Michelle and a different Michelle. Though Michelle, anytime you want to go to a rooftop bar, let me know. But my person I was with, they asked, "Are you okay?" Because I was being really quiet, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine, and I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to preface it by that. But I'm working really hard on not throwing myself off of this rooftop bar." And they were like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's not like a suicidal thing. It's like, and it's happened my whole life. Like when I see ledges or when I see like drops, I've got a little part of me that's like, jump. You know what I mean? No. So and then of course I don't, and I sort of step back. Oh wait, Adi, there could be.
I thought Adi was
Baby.
watching out for you.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, I'm so I know I'm up next, and the baby's been so quiet, and I think I just heard her, but maybe not.
Oh no. Really quickly, it's a scientific thing. Basically, your brain fools yourself. It's like, oh yeah, you're not scared of that. Go ahead and jump. And then like your brain's like, of course I'm scared of that. And then your brain's like, aha, I told you. So it's this weird thing where your brain like sort of forces you to make that decision in the moment because that's how my brain processes that it's dangerous. Real weird. There's a whole scientific study at Florida State about it.
I've definitely had moments like that where my brain did it. It's not like regular for me, but it's definitely happened.
It's the same thing, yeah, Shruti. If you're to steer into traffic, have you ever had that like that?
We're on a highway, and you just know, like, if I went like this, boom, that 18-wheeler, like, you just know, and it's like, I don't know.
It's terrible.
I've never had that. Wow, that's amazing.
I never wanted to, but you know, I was just, maybe Ben, have you had that feeling there too?
Yeah, absolutely, I've had that feeling there too. Yeah, and it's nice to see people in the chat have also had this feeling. So I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Of course, I'm sorry. I see in the chat right now, Rach. I'm watching The Sopranos right now. I have not finished it, so I feel like you just spoiled the ending of it for me. After all these years of it not being spoiled, I feel like it just got spoiled for me.
I don't think the ending was spoiled there.
Okay,
no, it was not.
Great.
It would be really. I mean, it would be pretty hard to actually.
So I would ask the internet very kindly to not put any Sopranos spoilers in the
Pretty
chat.
sure the statute of limitations.
I know that. I know. I'm very aware that the statute of limitations on spoilers for The Sopranos has long passed. That being said, I'm asking nicely.
Yeah, I mean, this is a pretty broad spoiler, but James Gandolfini ultimately not ever coming back to that show.
I understand. I do know that. I do know what failed
with him, and
you don't know that now. They do the CGI, Princess Leia, and
Were you not at Kim Kardashian's birthday party?
Oh my God, yes. Where Kanye got the laser of her father, who then complimented him.
I don't know why. I think it's fucked up that they didn't get what's his name, like the black guy too. He should have got the whole O.J. Simpson, like
The whole Johnny Cochran.
Johnny Cochran, Judge Ito just shows up. It'd
Like-
be awesome.
Actual Alan Dershowitz joins.
No, nobody wants Alan there. Nobody wants him around.
And then they just reenact the whole trial? What?
Kind
Like,
of like the Michael
Yeah.
Jackson trial. Remember when
Oh.
he did the Michael Jackson like players, like the greatest improv troupe ever? God, I can't believe that actually happened. Oh god.
I bet Johnny Cochran's a fantastic improviser.
But I just love that E actually was like, you know what, we can't broadcast this trial, so we're gonna get a bunch of actors to come into our studio and redo it every day. And people were like, you guys watching the Michael Jackson reenactment?
I didn't know this happened.
Oh yeah, you can.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it absolutely. It's a nightmare. I'm not even making that up. Now that I think about it, if I just said that, it sounds fucking insane. Like, but yeah, that actually happened.
Yeah, they didn't have cameras in the courtroom, so they would literally reenact it. It was bonkers.
And it looked like
bonkers.
it was very low budget looking.
Yeah,
but
it's
the
like
makeup was
daytime
very good.
TV, but worse.
It was
Now
like
I wanna-
people's court set.
I want to commission Truthy to draw that for me. I just feel
Which
The mic-
part? Can I have you like mid faint?
yes. I'll be like one of those goats. Yeah, just
Mhm. There's just a dog there. There just is.
All right, Adi, before the child awakens, please
child.
share your story with us.
Yeah.
We've already gotten a story about the brain and feeling like you're going to die and figuring out what it was. So what's your story up?
I had two potential stories in mind, and both of them I fear for my life. So I will let y'all choose. I've got titles for them. One is Old Pratt's Corner Road, and the other one is Mafia Haircut.
mafia haircut.
Mafia haircut.
Yeah,
I knew you were
Mafia
gonna choose that.
Haircut.
Old Pratt Corner Road is good and has a visual, so if I ever come back, I'm saving it.
Yeah,
but all right.
The chat even says Mafia Haircut.
Yeah, I feel like it has to be Mafia Haircut.
Just no Soprano spoilers in your story. I'm sorry. Could you go through your story real quick and check? To see if there are any
Sopranos is
Soprano
a
spoilers?
work of fiction. Sopranos is a work of fiction. This is
That
not.
in and of itself is a spoiler.
Okay.
All right. So when I graduated college, I didn't really know what I was doing with my life, and I took I joined New York City government's version of Teach for America, which was called New York City Teaching Fellows. And the gist of it was you go in, and during the summer before the fall semester, you do like classes during the afternoon and evening toward your teaching certificate. And in the mornings, you are co-teaching at a summer school. And those 2 months prepare you to have your own classroom in the New York City public school system. Yes, they do great. There's a whole separate series of stories related to my teaching experience, but this is all to just say that this is how I ended up living in the Bronx. I got a gig near Yankee Stadium teaching, and I got an apartment on not the other side of the Bronx, but a different section of the Bronx near Little Italy, the real Little Italy, not the one near Chinatown.
Like Arthur Avenue area.
Yeah, the Arthur Ave.
Yeah.
So I lived 2 blocks from Arthur Ave. I lived at 187th and Crotona.
Great food
Yep.
in that area.
I lived 2 blocks from the New York City Botanical Garden, which is across the street from the Bronx Zoo. It was, in many ways, a great place to live, although I had 2 friends within the entire borough, and it was also very, very difficult. One of my friends in the borough, he had gone to Fordham, which is also in the Bronx and right in the Little Italy area. And so a good 2-3 months in, I had put off getting a haircut long enough, but I needed a haircut. And my friend Andrew recommended Severios, And Severia's is this like tiny little hole in the wall right on Crotona Ave, or Arthur. No, it's on Arthur Ave and 185th. And I went in it turned into a good relationship. There was like one guy who did the end of the day shift, which was right after I got back to the neighborhood after teaching. And so I started going like once a month, and this guy was just giving me a trim for $15. And so it was probably, I don't know, 5-6 months in that I was getting a haircut with, and another important thing is that it's not actually Italians that run Little Italy these days. It's Albanians. It is the Albanian mafia. It is, the neighborhood is like Dominican, Puerto Rican, and Albanian for the most part. A lot of businesses are owned by Italians. There's some things going on. So anyway, so this guy was Albanian. He did not actually speak almost any English, but we would just sit there in like respectful silence, and he'd trim my hair for about 20 minutes every month. And one day, I think this is early spring, he's finishing up my haircut, and this is like, there are 3 chairs in this barber shop, and that's it. And a door at the back wall opens. 5 guys in suits with briefcases walk out and walk right behind me silently and leave.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Please tell me you did not mention that to the guy.
I didn't. I sat there.
So
like,
what's the deal
frozen.
with those guys?
Yeah. Wait, I was like, I thought you're closing, and they're all here waiting for haircuts. This doesn't make sense. I could have been coming much later.
What's in the case?
Yeah, what do you think is in those briefcases?
It's a lot of paperwork. So that's pretty much the story. And then I went back one more time and like felt ill the entire time.
I was gonna ask, like, when it first happened, was there like fear or anything?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I like genuinely, like, in a different way of what Ben was saying, was like, and things were not going well in school. I was not in a good mental place in general during this time. And so I was like visualizing like, oh my God, he saw this. He's done. Like, they've got, sharp scissors and like taking me out. Like, I literally envisioned that.
Like, wrong place, wrong time.
Yep.
Yeah.
My guess, though, unfortunately, right, is that poor Albanian barber probably just got his shop taken over by the mob. He's just trying to make a living.
Definitely.
Right? And they're like, we're going to use your back room for an office. You don't say no to them.
You don't.
Yeah. So my thought is also possibly that I'm not certain he was legal. And so I wonder if they gave him the shop.
Sure.
That's my theory. Because he wasn't super, like, a lot of times when it's a barber shop where there's just one guy, it's an older guy, and he was like maybe 30.
Mm-hmm. I bet you they were laundering money, maybe.
Yep.
I bet you, like, we're detectives.
Yeah.
It does. It makes me think of like all of the secret things that we don't know about, like, that are happening, and then like, there's sometimes people who do know things and then they tell you things and you think they're crazy, but it's real.
Yeah.
Yeah. There used to be a non-pizza place, NAN, like Indian bread pizza place, across the street from River Gods, like half a block away from River Gods near Central Square. And that place was empty all the time.
Mm-hmm.
We had a running bet among a group of friends about like when it would finally close, but it just wouldn't close. And I went in there one time and tried to give them money for pizza, and they were just like, cash register's broken, you can just have the pizza. And I was like, you guys aren't real, you're not a thing. They also sold frozen yogurt, and maybe that's where they made their money. Maybe that cash register was working.
I grew up in New York City in the 90s, and
there's tears. I'm gonna go fix a pacifier.
Okay.
Yeah. The amount of front stores, which are stores that sell other stuff, presumably, but really are just selling weed, was in the hundreds in Manhattan and the Bronx where I hung out. It was just like, and it was all kinds of shops, from a comic book shop to a deli to a hair beauty salon, a beauty supply shop. And these were stores, and you would just walk in, and it was similar. Like the deli had like 3 soup cans and like a bottle of Coke on the shelf. And you would go up to the front, and you would just give $10 to the guy, and then he would just give you a dime bag of weed. And it was insane. They were everywhere. And they must have paid off the cops at the time, right? Because it was, I mean, they weren't even trying to hide it.
Yeah.
Giuliani got rid of all that stuff, or at least made it go much deeper underground. But New York was a wild place for in the late 80s and early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this. I love this.
Yeah.
What a great workaround. Oh, here it is.
It's in my pocket. It was in my pocket the whole time.
What's the job description? What's the job title for that person?
I don't know.
That's amazing.
Weed detective.
Weed finder.
Are they a private high? Is that?
Oh, private high is
Private High is great.
That's our new
That's
show
what
on
they
2MB Studios. We get
Private
stoned
High.
and talk about Perry Mason.
Mhm.
Called Private High.
We find
How about the rest
Private-
of you? Have you ever gone to a business where you're like, this business isn't legit? No,
I mean, I've always had that suspicion, but I'm jealous, Ben, because I've never known it for real, and I've never been like I've had that suspicion countless times, right? But it's a very different thing to be on the inside of that, and I've never had that experience. I want that.
To literally see it. It's not a great feeling. It was very scary.
That's super scary. That's super scary. You're like, because also those guys might have an issue with you, but you're the poor schlub who's getting their haircut when the other Albanian gang comes to like fight this Albanian gang, right? And you're like, I just want my haircut.
Well, and it made the whole thing about living in that neighborhood much realer to me, in a way that like I became paranoid kind of all around.
Wait, did you say paranoid, or am I just like hearing something?
Well, that's what
Paranoid.
it actually was, and I just didn't realize it until now.
There were large birds following him around. And
That is
he was
Paranoia
terrified.
is actually it's fear that an impromptu performance of hair will start out at any moment. That's what paranoia is. Oh, Matt.
Matt took himself out.
Yeah.
For,
Oh, man.
I
I liked
love
it.
birds,
It was good.
So I got your joke.
The
Matt.
Albanian mafia came and got Matt.
Yeah, it's true. Sorry, let me reset that. There we go.
Yeah, the Albanian Mafia is not.
I mean,
they're
the
not a
address,
sponsor. Not a
the
sponsor.
mailing address for this channel that goes out on the emails is my home address. So,
No, Matthew.
I mean,
So,
it's the Albanian
if you have
Mafia.
any questions,
I'm right there.
please send Matt a letter.
We'll
Come
edit
at-
this out.
Come
before
at
we
me,
air
bro.
it. It's
Is
fine.
that what's happening?
Did you just come at me, bro? The Albanian mob?
I feel like
No, I did not. I did not.
100%. 100%.
I did not. If you guys want to come over, I'll make you sandwiches. We can sit outside and talk. You can tell me stories. Of,
Albanian mob. If you're watching, no violence is necessary. Just spoil the Sopranos.
do not mail me Sopranos spoilers, please.
Causing ultimate
Oh,
pain.
man.
I'm gonna do it one word at a time in a series of postcards.
I would love that, and I would probably feature that on Hello World if that happened.
Recurring bit.
Not mail Sopranos.
Thank you, Kit Tempest.
That's a 4
Because
exclamation
if they're
point.
mailed to me, I'm going to message Kit and tell him.
Kit's getting dragged into the Albanian war here.
Yeah.
The war with the Albanians.
Kit and I are in this together.
Kit's the muscle. I love it. We're just recruiting from the chat at this point.
Just a hollowed out bloody horse head chock full in your bed full of Sopranos spoilers.
Oh my god.
No.
Somebody, I was
So-
wondering this too. Somebody asked, "Did you get a nice haircut?"
Yeah.
It was a very, very reliable trim.
Okay.
I had already given them a 5-star Yelp review.
Is that true?
Yes, I had that. Yeah, that was kind of my style back then. I was aggressive with the 5-star reviews.
Were you the Foursquare king of that place and the Albanians were mad?
This was like prime years for Foursquare also.
Oh, Foursquare.
Yeah.
Gosh, for sure.
Oh, man.
If they were a legitimate business, I would have gotten Foursquare discounts.
What if you got in good with them and you always get free haircuts and you help keep their cover?
Right, for my
You're always
silence.
just one of the 3 chairs.
Yeah. I mean, it was 15.
Is that the price of your morals?
It was $15 a month. It was like a little worse than Netflix.
It made me think of you as like a Yelp boss, right? So you're like, oh, do you know who I am? I am Mr. 5-star. Right?
It'd be a real
Treat me well.
pity. Yeah,
I like the idea
that
that
happened in that 5-star review that happens to be your only review. Only review for this place.
I like the idea that the Albanians
Yeah.
that bring you into the back room and you're really scared, and then they're just like, "We'd like to thank you for the 5-star review. We've seen enough."
Here's a briefcase. They bought you an attaché
Yeah.
What
case.
if
It was-
Yelp?
Yeah.
Yeah, Yelp is definitely the Albanian mob. Like it probably was Yelp.
If you look, it's their home address. It's the Albanian.
And actually,
mob's
they just
home
travel
address
from
on the-
business to business. Next, they went to like a pizza parlor and just like ruined lives.
I just checked. It's actually Matt's home address. That's weird.
It is. It
That
is.
It is.
Yeah.
Weird.
Mhm. Yeah.
So Albanians, be careful.
I'm sorry, Ben. You asked us not to get political, and I made this a very aggressive anti-Albania mafia episode.
I have no.
I
beef
just
with
want you
them.
to stop saying it. I just want you to stop saying those 2 words
There
together.
is that Law and Order. There's a new Law and Order organized crime. So there could be based on it, like an episode where like Elliot Stabler comes in and you're almost about to die getting a haircut.
Stabler's coming
Put that
back. I
down,
know.
yeah.
That's very exciting.
Yeah,
It's very exciting.
I wasn't ready for that news. That's very good. That show's coming.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, great. 2 stories about a feeling like you were going to die. Nick, are we keeping the theme going, or are we starting a new thread here?
So actually, let me put that to you, Ben. Would you like me to tell a "I'm gonna die" story, or would you like me to tell? Would you like me to break off? I'm keeping Adi's theme of making it choose your own adventure.
Freedom, power, responsibility. Nick,
Yeah,
freedom,
I
power,
think-
responsibility.
I think if you've got a good almost die story,
Yeah.
we'd like to hear it.
This is good because it's a very tight circle because it's a feeling like I was just about to die on a plane as the result of marijuana edibles. So it's a very tight circle.
Oh, I thought you were
here.
gonna say as a result of the Albanian mafia, and I was like, all right, I see what you're doing here.
Real quick, Old Pratt Corner Road was I'm scared I'm gonna die because of weed I smoked. Anyway.
Also, when I was 18, had a weed brownie, thought I was gonna die.
Oh my god, they're awful. Edibles are they're awful.
My story was also edibles based.
Great. Nick.
Mine is
So
not.
yes.
No, I'm gonna take us in a different direction. I saw a thing on Twitter, and forgive me if this is something that like everybody saw on Twitter this week, because it just tickled me so goddamn much. Did you guys hear about the 7-year-old who like conned her way out of Zoom classes for 3 consecutive weeks?
What? No.
Oh yeah, I
Ow.
didn't hear about that kid.
Okay,
Yeah.
this child is a genius because this is what she did. Her mom set her up in the morning for her class. Like got her ready. She sat her down in front of the computer, and then like an hour in, she's like, "Mom, you have to come back. I don't know what's going on. Like Zoom won't let me in. I'm completely locked out." And the mom like came back and like tried the password that she like 100% knew would work. Like got in there, like nothing worked. And she's like, I don't know what to I don't know what to do. I don't know how to help you. Reset the password. Successfully reset the password. Tried it again. It still didn't work. You've entered the wrong password. And she's like, okay, well, I guess we're just hanging out today.
I guess you're just a feigner.
I guess you're just a feigner. I guess your password doesn't work. This goes on for a full week with escalating consequences, like escalating people involved, right? They get the teacher involved. They're like, hey, can you help us out? The teacher at one point kicks the entire classroom out of the class, brings them all back in, like shuts down the entire lesson, like brings them all back in. That's day 2. On day 3, the principal is involved. The principal is looking up the service contract that the school has with Zoom and trying to figure out what their get Zoom day 4, Zoom service is involved. They're just like we I don't know. I wish we could help you. For a full week, escalating, until finally on the 5th day, the mom's just like, I don't know what's going on and I don't know how to fix it. I guess, I don't know what. And the daughter is just like, well, I guess that means I'll just help you around the house more. 2 more weeks pass. At this point, after a week, the mother's just like, I don't give a crap. This is just our life. 2 full weeks of the daughter just being like, our Zoom doesn't work, and I couldn't tell you why. She's over at a friend's house, where for some reason it seems to work better there. The friend's mom happens to catch the daughter, and what she's doing is she's logging in for about 20 minutes in the morning, and then logging out, and then entering the wrong password 60 times.
Yeah. Yeah.
Over and over and over and over and over again, until silently Zoom locks the account. And in a way, apparently even tier 1 Zoom support wasn't even able to see it. And their error message is a little bit wrong. It doesn't say your account's been locked. It says you entered the wrong password. And so it's just this very trouble. 3 solid, beautiful, genius weeks this child was able to milk every single level of technical support available to her. It's an amazing story. I'm so jealous of this kid. As a lazy person at heart, I could not be more insanely jealous of this child.
I'm going to paste a link to that story in the chat so you can go. This is the board. It's boardpanda.com.
That's how you know it's good.
Story.
I saw her on Jimmy Kimmel. That's how I saw her.
No.
Her and her mom were interviewed.
Really quickly, just because I was looking for a way, this came up way earlier, and I was like, "There's no way to talk about this again." But you just brought up Jimmy Kimmel, and Brandi, I think, posted in the chat that Jimmy Kimmel actually played Jay Leno in the reenactment during the Michael Jackson trial.
I saw that too. That was incredible.
So it was Jimmy Kimmel as Jay Leno doing Jay Leno.
This is real.
This is real?
Yeah,
No.
it's on E, and every day it would be a recap.
You'll enjoy seeing fellow party versions.
Yes. Phone friends, make a wish, you get phone calls. Children in the hospital, could you give them a call? And they ask you questions about, did you meet Spears, whatever.
There's a Michael Jackson.
That's a good Michael Jackson impersonation.
That's a good Jay Leno impersonation.
You try to cheer them up, and they usually go through, as I said.
Hey, Michelle, can I get a screenshot of you fainting?
Yes.
Wow.
Incredible.
That was amazing.
Those
Incredible.
prosthetics were so distracting.
Yeah, the E effects budget is.
I just love the fact that the judge was like, "You can't have cameras." And they're like, "Fine, we don't need cameras."
You're talking to dream makers.
Right, right. The E fixer was like, I got this. Get my friend Jimmy Kimmel in here.
I wish E would bring it back for all right, we're doing the Kim and Kanye divorce proceedings. They'd have the players do different things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the E courtroom players.
That would be amazing.
Oh man,
we should pitch that. Get E on the phone.
get E on the phone right now.
I feel like they would go for that.
I feel like the E is run by the Albanian mob, so I feel like we could get in touch with them.
I've heard that
Yeah, in a
before. It
twist,
was just
Chelsea
right now,
Handler
but I heard it.
is the Albanian mob. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So you least expect.
Wow. This went full circle very quickly.
Did that little girl get in trouble, Nick? I hope not.
Right. Yes.
I mean, they won't let her fly anymore, but she's fine.
That's because she passes out. I know her. We have a club. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, my thought was like, if that was my kid, like, how would I feel about that? And I think I would be kind of proud. Like, I would be upset about the lying about it, but I'd be very, very like proud of the ingenuity and like the problem solving. Like there was a process to get to that.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
She said she did it because she was basically kind of angry about not being able to be in school with her friends. And I was like, that just really just reminds us actually, like, kids have, their real emotions and they're going through a pandemic as well. And they're going to deal with it how they deal with it. And yeah, it's like, how do you punish them for having feelings,
100%. 100%.
I just wouldn't acknowledge it. I would not publicly tell that my kid did that. Nobody needs to know because that kid's not gonna get like this is how people get in stand-up comedy. Like they get they're like, oh, I did something real fucked up. Let me tell everybody, and then they keep getting gratification from their fucked up life, and that is how you get a stand-up. And I don't want that in my life.
That's good parenting.
My mistake.
Protect your children from shame.
And then just looked at me like, what are you talking about?
I feel like that leads to the classic parent conversation, though, and I think we've all had a variation of this, where the parent is like, if you could just take that energy and put it towards something. Right. I love how you committed yourself and how imagine what you could do if you really just, did your homework with that level of ingenuity. Mm-hmm. But that's why I did this so that I didn't have to do that.
The kid is like, this is the thing. This is what I do.
But I mean, you've seen the videos.
I'm a hacker.
You've seen the videos of the kids putting up the virtual background of them in class, and then it falls down, and they're sitting behind it. So it's like you've got the really smart kids on one end, and then you've got these other kids on the other end that are trying stuff, just not being quite as effective.
One of the kids had a great one, which was they had a screenshot that just said like connecting. Like ... or whatever the thing was, so that it just looked like they had dropped and were coming back.
That's fun.
Which is great.
My friend's an elementary school teacher, and she's on Zoom, and she always posts the craziest things she sees. And in one class, one kid was inside the clothing in like Marshalls that's in a circle. Inside of the clothing doing the class. So their mom could shop. Like,
oh no.
And she was just like, that was today. And then yesterday, one of them was just eating corn dogs in the back of his car. And like, they're just taking the classes everywhere at this point.
First of all, what kind of corn dogs is that kid eating if they're eating them like this?
The mini corn
that's not how you eat a corn.
You eat the mini corn dogs like that.
Oh, the mini corn dogs.
Yeah.
There's sticks involved. You choke on that.
I think these kids need to go back to practicing for when they get back to school. They have to do the same stuff. If you want to kill time in class, you got to get a pass and go to the bathroom. Just got to slow walk it to your bathroom.
Yep.
And hang out there. There's even a door. You don't have to worry about your bully coming in unless it's your sibling or your parent. And yeah.
I'm going to go get a drink of water.
I didn't know whether you were doing a bit or whether you were actually getting a drink of water, and I still don't know.
I have my water right here.
Yeah, I would. I don't know if other people did. I would go to the bathroom in every single period. Every single period, I would go to the bathroom.
Did you have to
not
ask?
in middle school either. This is like in high school.
Oh,
high
in high
school,
school, one time I just was like there was like a senior lounge, and I just had depression, but I also didn't have a car, so my mom would just drop me off at school, and I would just nap in the lounge. And one day a kid came in, he's like, "Mr. Hansen would like you to come to class," and I was like, "Why doesn't he have a school assembly about it then?" And I just like went back to sleep.
Yeah,
Like, I
Mr.
was such an
What was his
asshole.
name?
Well, Mr. Hansen was a great teacher, but like
Oh.
they would always have like school assemblies where we could like share our, like senior meetings. I was like, have a senior meeting about it to the principal, then I went back to sleep. Like, what are you gonna do? Your kid's cutting class, and then she's, where to find her in the building just taking a nap. They're like, what are they gonna do? Like, the senior year, they're like, God, hopefully you'll graduate.
I did have a car, and I would just leave in the afternoons. And then, fun fact, I would come back to lead my improv rehearsals on Tuesday and Thursday afternoons.
Back.
Yeah.
So good.
We were
Yeah.
allowed to leave campus for lunch my junior and senior year of high school, which always just meant that I was high for math, which was after. Which was after lunch. And it was just like, I wish it had been at a different time because I would have liked that class, I think. But I did not do well in that class.
I did the thing in 7th grade. We had one of my teachers did paper hall passes and stole them, photocopied them because they were just white. They were just like
that's not smart.
blacking on white. Yeah. So we were swimming in hall passes.
You need these. Yeah, I can get you a hall pass.
Yeah. And that's what I gave to the Albanian mafia.
A briefcase.
To keep myself safe when the
Speaking
Yelp
of-
review didn't cut it.
Did you guys have hustles in high school? Like I sold candy to the other kids. That's literally the only thing I got in trouble for in school. Starting in
Not
middle
like as part of the fundraiser. You would just sell candy.
Oh God, no. No, my parents would take me.
I love this story. Yeah, go ahead.
My
Yeah,
parents, they would take me to Aldi's or to Sam's Club, and
Yes.
I would do my margins, all my profit margins and everything. But the funny part was they didn't
That's
let us
awesome.
eat candy, but I could sell it.
Don't get high on your own supply anyway.
That's
That's
right.
good. You gotta
Yeah.
sell it.
That's
So-
awesome.
Yeah, we
Is
got in
there-
very
trouble,
good money.
and they shut down the pop machine here. We got in trouble, and I was just selling it out of the my locker. And the principal's like, I know. He's like, couldn't get mad. He's like, well, it's legal to have it. We just said you couldn't buy it on campus in the machine, but you kind of got a loophole, so tomorrow you can't sell that.
Brandi, we just had a school assembly about this. We just had a school assembly.
I was napping, okay? I was not there to not be held
Yeah.
responsible.
They're like, as long as your hustle makes us some money.
Oh, yeah. Now I'm gonna change my story when you get to me to a better one about our
You
middle
had to
school.
kick 10% to your teacher, like kicking 10% of the mob. It's like the principal's, where's my cut?
Yeah, that was actually the unpublished 6th season of The Wire. Was the high school soda, ring? Yeah,
It's really depressing.
Yeah.
Our
It's
school
not a
actually had a
Wait.
thing in like 8th grade called Business Day where everyone had to create a business, and there was like a big mall. And one day, it is the most insane story, and I will tell it later.
I also love that Grace said that she sold Bazooka Joe wrappers to her sister as collectibles because they had cartoons.
Oh, that's so good.
It's so good
Solid.
to your
Yeah.
sister. Oh, I love.
I'm concerned about Grace eating all that gum. It's now, that stays in your body for life. I've heard.
Oh my God.
no.
I think I bought the wrappers. I was a dork. Like someone gave me a bag full of them. I do remember I never had the gum either. It was just reading.
Oh, you were
There you go.
the sister. You
I
were
paid
the-
$700 for it.
It was Grace's
$700.
sister. She stepped on them a little
Yeah.
bit and resold them again. They were.
Yeah. I want to see the paintings that Shruti does of her family, of her sister Grace and herself as half ghosts painting on planes.
With a dog. With a dog.
Oh, I love it.
And
I
Michael
love it.
Jackson wigs and chin pop.
Oh, we can do a reenactment. Great. I love it. I love it. Good for that kid. I'm glad they didn't get in trouble. Brandi, it is your turn now. You were saying you were going to tell a story about a mall?
Yeah, I was going to talk about the melted. Well, I'll give you guys an option. One story is called Business Day. I'll just gauge the reaction or pay attention to the audience. Business day or melted bloodhead?
Melted bloodhead.
Okay,
That's like Old Pratt Corner Road versus Mafia haircut. Like, come on.
This one is actually less insane than the business day story, but I'll say that for another episode. Okay, so in 1991, Charles Saatchi, who was like a British patron of British art, and he used to be married to Nigella Lawson, the cook, and he was really abusive, and he's a terrible person. But he buys a lot of modern art stuff. So in 1991, he bought this like piece of art from Mark Quinn called Self. And Self was Mark Quinn collected 9 pints of his own blood. And by the way, the human body contains like 10 pints. So he had 9 pints of his own blood. Then he made a mold of his head, and he put the blood in the head, and he made a mold of his head out of his own blood. So Charles Saatchi bought this in 1991 for like a pretty reasonable price for a bloodhead, like 13,000 pounds. Okay, so this is the background. This is the background. In 2002, Nigella Lawson, his then wife, was like, "Oh, I really want my kitchen, our London kitchen, larger." So Nigella Lawson was like, they made a deal. They got some contractors, and the contractors came over to start the work on enlarging the kitchen. And the BBC story from it is great. So what happened is they unplugged the fridge that had the bloodhead in it, and they didn't notice. And this is I'm just gonna read the quote. They discovered the mistake when red liquid was found oozing across the floor. And the great part about this article is that the subhead is just oozing.
No.
I just want to check. Michelle, please don't faint.
You guys, I don't know. It could happen.
Me too.
Yikes! Fucking yikes!
So then, like they would try to follow it up, and then, people like the BBC contacted them. They're like, "Hey, where's the bloodhead?" And Saatchi wouldn't, because it's a collector's piece of art. So Saatchi wouldn't. He wouldn't confirm that the bloodhead was gone.
It's ruined. Yeah.
And so I was like, one, why would you buy a bloodhead, like a piece of art, and then just put it in like a fridge that didn't have glass in it, just like a regular fridge? And then two, like, it's got like, what is the investment? It's like you're one blackout from your investment getting fucked up. Like, I mean, like,
yeah.
Also, like vinaigrette blood. It's in my fridge.
But also, that's so much blood. Again, the human body has 10 pints. Like,
was it like a solid block? This thing?
Oh yeah,
I'm trying to figure out.
I'll post a link in the private
blood?
chat. Yeah.
So do you have a link to it?
Yeah, there's a picture. There's the article, and then I'm gonna throw.
Okay, I got it here.
Lex Crypto is killing it tonight.
It's a true story. Who hasn't made some odd purchases?
But sometimes you've got 13,000 quid burning a hole in your pocket.
I don't know what to do with it, man.
You just gotta spend it on the first bloodhead.
I'd rather have. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm dropping the actual up close. It's so much blood. It's huge.
Yeah, I've got it right here, I think. Yeah.
I'm not
just dropped
gonna
it in the
like
private
this.
chat too.
I'm not gonna like this. I'll just say it right now.
No, it's not something that I enjoy looking at, but they like
what?
Oh no!
So imagine.
Oh, this is a better.
No.
It's all blood.
So it's just straight up freaking blood.
That's all blood. It's kind of amazing.
You made all that. You 9 pints of blood. I mean, but like the other great part about it. The other great thing is that like it's oozing, right? So it's probably not entirely melted, or maybe it is.
Oh.
But imagine just opening the fridge, seeing oozing, and then seeing that being the source of the oozing. Like,
nope.
What?
That's gonna haunt my dreams.
Real quick, I've got another London head of blood story that's very quick.
Wait, there's two. Jesus. Okay.
Bloodhead. Yeah.
Bloodhead.
Oh, you froze.
Yeah, the parent thing.
You froze.
The bloodhead does not want to be talked about.
It's too perfect.
We've come into some sort of realm now.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
bloodhead.
we'll come back to it.
Am I back? Am I back?
You're back.
You're back.
Sorta, kinda.
Oh no. The bloodhead does not want to be talked about.
Oh no.
wait.
Adi, look behind you. I think there are 5 Albanians behind you.
Oh no.
Wait, so then, okay, so
Oh no.
Yeah, so keep going.
Yes.
so Charles Saatchi has also been involved in something else. You know Damien Hirst's piece, The Shark? Like, it's like a pretty famous. It's a shark.
It isn't the one bisected. Oh no, it's the one
it's like the
formaldehyde.
full shark and just formaldehyde. And so apparently Charles Saatchi owned that at one point too. And so he's about to sell it to Steve Cohen, I think Steve Cohen, like the hedge fund guy, an American guy, hedge fund guy, but the problem was that the shark was rotting, and so Damien Hirst was in talks, was like, hey, if you will sell this to him, I will just cover the cost of a replacement shark. Like,
let's get a new shark.
So there's an article with the headline. It's just Damien Hirst in talks to replace rotting shark. And again, that rotting shark was made the same year Bloodhead was.
What is wrong with people?
And the piece of work with the shark is called The Physical Impossibility of Death. And I'm like, nope, it rotted, dude. It definitely is not impossible.
Yeah.
And I feel like putting a shark in formaldehyde doesn't very much work, but sculpting a head out of blood is actually strangely beautiful. I mean, it's disgusting, but like that was art, right? You're like, okay, that's art, where I'm not sure a shark in formaldehyde is art.
And he didn't probably take all 9 pints at once.
No,
I guess he would.
That would be bad.
That would be amazing.
We got one shot at this, y'all.
Yeah, I am coming out as pro Bloodhead. Who knew? I didn't even know. But as we talked it out, I was like, you know what? I'd rock Bloodhead in my house.
Team Bloodhead.
Yeah, it's actually called Self, but like it's called Bloodhead from now on.
It's Bloodhead.
If I buy it, I can call it whatever I want. I call it Bloodhead.
It started out as Bloodhead, and then it was called Oozing.
Yeah. I'll make my own Bloodhead. I think I just need blood and a mold.
That's all you need, Ben. Blood and a mold.
I'm gonna do.
Come back next week to find out if Ben has a Bloodhead.
And then I'm gonna try to sell it to that same guy.
Market.
Be like, I heard you like Bloodheads.
How about this one?
Anyway.
Sir, this is just a beach ball painted
Studios.
red with a smiley face on it.
2MB Studios is a front for Bloodheads.
You all have to give at least 1 pint of blood for being on the show.
Yeah, sorry,
we're making a communal Bloodhead.
Who would you buy a Bloodhead from? Like, for real? Who would you
whose head? Like whose head of blood?
Yeah.
Oh.
Definitely someone with like a large head, because I want to get like a bargain.
More blood for your money. Yeah.
Ice
Jay
Cube?
Leno. Jay Leno has a pretty large blood head.
Yep.
All chin though.
It's all chin.
So it's blood chin.
Mr. Met. I think I would go with Mr. Met. Sorry, Boston, but a Mr. Met bloodhead would be incredible.
That would be terrifying. Just like a giant baseball.
It's all blood. It's the whole Mets team. Who gives a shit? They're so bad.
Oh, I love that.
I would like a bust of Abraham Lincoln as a bloodhead.
I have a bust of George Washington. I want it
as a bloodhead?
No, but I could just take that trophy. It's a pretty big bust, and I have a bloodhead.
I mean, really, you could make a blood anything as long as you have a mold.
Yeah. Truthy, who would you want a bloodhead of?
Big Conan.
Conan?
Or, you know James Vanderbeek, how his head is like this big, and you can like sit under it and protect yourself from rain. That'd be fun. I wonder if he'd like just fall over.
Can we commission bloodhead paintings from you?
Yeah.
with your blood.
We'll do a series of
blood.
I'll move with my own blood.
Okay, I'm out again. I'm out. I'm out. It's somebody else's blood. No,
I like the idea of Big Bird, like Big Bird as a blood cat. It's really
obviously
creepy.
an Elmo blood paint, blood Elmo. would
Ooh,
be
Blood Elmo. You wouldn't even know.
Or a Hellraiser.
The whole Elmo, just the whole Elmo.
yeah,
or
the whole Elmo. Well, not the
Like
white
with the
part, so
hand?
it's two
with the
Look up the ass.
Theo might have a Blood Boy head.
two actual eyeballs on
That's a
top of
good-
the Blood Elmo body.
Yikes!
Oh no! I do not want to tickle that Elmo. Just
No, thank you.
Oh, it's so
Oozing!
gross.
Like it would be gross. He'd be like oozing.
Oh no! Yeah, there's not enough blood for James Vanderbeek. His head. We need to get more points for that.
Yeah, I guess I'd take Joshua Jackson instead. That would be fine.
Yeah.
Team
Always
Pacey.
Team Pacey. Always Team Pacey. Yeah, Team Pacey for sure.
Team Pacey.
I think we can all agree. There are very few people who are Team Dawson. I think.
Fucking
But-
Dawson.
But
I mean,
Team
it was his creek, so I
So-
mean,
So
he
the
kind of
year-
was winning anyway.
The year they were like all applying to college. Apparently, Dawson's Creek, they did this whole episode about Joey applying to Williams, which is where I went to school. So I was like a freshman at Williams, and everyone's talking about, and like the thing is, they talked about the peer recommendation, so it was definitely like a Williams specific thing. And this whole episode, we're like, well, surely Williams is going to be like a part of this now for some reason, which is weird, but that's kind of cool. And then I found out from someone, like, because they never brought up Williams again, that apparently they called the school Williams in honor of Josh Williamson, you know, the creator of Dawson's Creek, but they didn't know that Williams College in Massachusetts, where Dawson's Creek is set, was a real college.
God.
Williams College is one of the
Oh my
That's
God.
amazing.
Williams College is one of the few schools with like the peer recommendation. So like somehow they accidentally got a specific to Williams thing right.
That's hilarious.
I know Google wasn't big back then, but I feel like that's a thing you can look up, right?
I mean, like somebody knows Williams College. It's not the biggest school. It would just be like, oh, what if we called it Brown University? Like Dartmouth,
Harvard.
is that a thing?
Harvard has a nice ring.
Harvard.
Something
Harvard.
like that kind of happened recently with Kevin Hart. I don't know the exact story. Maybe somebody else does, but like he named a show after a show that was already existed, and another comedian had it. You heard of this, Adi?
No, I had a friend who tried to do this in my garage band in 8th grade.
Yeah. And so like the person like was like calling Kevin Hart out, and he was like, literally, I didn't know. I'm sorry. Like, and he like retweeted the guy and was like, we're changing the name. We just didn't know. But it should have been like an easy Google search though.
Yeah,
for his
isn't the
name.
first thing you do at this point in time is like Google the name of
Yeah,
it?
the
Like,
first thing you do is Google the name.
Maybe he just thought he did it deliberately and thought he could get away with it.
I
That's
feel
right.
like Kevin
They were
Hart is
accusing
in
him
this
of-
like Kevin
Yeah.
Hart's in the stratosphere where you can't understand like the lack of logic of celebrities when they just are so powerful that they're like,
Yeah.
why would anyone have this idea that I just came up with? It could be the most common thing ever. Like, what if we
Mhm.
called our restaurant like
Bertucci's.
what if we called it Denny's or something? I don't know. There's Dennis. He loves pancakes, and then they're just like, "Hey, Denny's is like a thing." And he's like, "Why would it be? It was my idea."
No, but I like baseball, and we'll make the main meal a grand slam.
Like I write all sorts of jokes, or at least pay people to. I mean, why?
We've gone off the rails. I love
I'm
it.
sorry.
No, it's great. It's great.
No, I was in a band in 8th grade, and one of my bandmates wrote a little like song and wanted us to play it, and he was like, "Yeah, it's called Comfortably Numb."
You were in Pink Floyd?
Yeah. I went to middle school with one of the Pink Floyd guys whose names I don't
Mr.
remember.
Floyd.
With Mr. Floyd.
In first grade, we had to write a book, and I just decided to copy Arthur's Valentine and add my name to the cover. So I basically sat there, and the teacher was like, "Whatever, you're like shit." Sure. So I like just sat there and I copied the text. Like I had like my 4th grade, because like you could have like a 4th grader who was like a buddy to you, copied the text for me, and then I would just redo the drawings. And it was like, but I credited him. I was like, by Mark Brown. and Brandi Brown. I had to turn it in. So
Yeah, it's a family show, a family book.
It was like the one where we had to do hard covers. Like it was like the special book all year where we'd work hard. And people were like, "I wrote a story about dinosaurs." And I'm like, I literally just reproduced Arthur's Valentine in this hardcover that I now have to give to my mom. It's a keepsake.
Oh man, art, and that's so much more innocent art than blood. You did not give your mom a bloodhead, which was nice. That would have been
Thank
insane.
you for that.
I'd be a good bloodhead, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you would make a nice bloodhead.
Honestly, I would take a bloodhead from anybody on this.
Oh.
yeah, I would have any of your heads made of blood. Yeah, for sure. Shruti, yeah, tell us a story.
Yeah, one of the most, it's like a story full of ironies. I don't even know if that's the right word. But my parents had a housewarming party, and to preface this, in Indian culture, we call everyone auntie and uncle, even if they're not related to us. You just say blah blah auntie, like whatever their name is, an auntie.
Does that get really confusing when your actual aunts and uncles are there, or do you have different names for them? Or
could be, but sometimes you'll use the actual language to say auntie there, so it's just the translation. But no, everyone's your auntie, everyone's your uncle, you know.
That's
And
cool.
my parents had a housewarming party for the new house they just bought, and this have you ever met a lady who's like, or a person who's just so bubbly, but they just drop bombs, but they're laughing the whole time, so you're just like, this lady is kind of like that, like, oh, everything's hilarious, it's fine. So she's just known to just kind of be ditzy and fun. And she, the previous week, we had all been to some house party, and that auntie was there, and she's like, I hit a parked car, and like, I hit a parked car underwear, you know, and so like, oh, okay, you know, you're kind of known to be crazy. And so then the next week, my parents have their housewarming party, and this auntie was on her way back from traffic school for hitting the parked car. And she's the first guest. I shit you not, this is real. She's the first guest at our housewarming party, and she drives the car in through our garage.
oh no!
New house, hits the column off the side of the wall. It crumbles. And then she hits my brother's car that's in the garage. So she's broken our column of the house, the garage door, and my brother's car.
What?
And it's in, like, there's a house and the car is like half in the house. And my parents, this is real, like, what? And my parents are nice, so they're just like, you know, like, no one's here yet, it's a housewarming party, and there's a car in the house. Like, what the? And she's just like, I'll pay for it. I'm sorry, traffic school. And we're just like, who hits a parked car, then goes to traffic school, then hits your house during your housewarming?
Was Auntie drunk?
Or was there actually something wrong with the car? Like the brakes only worked intermittently?
No, she just didn't brake on time. She like jumped the gun and pushed the accelerator. And
Like had a scan, like wasn't focused, and
the garage door had a handle, and it went in through to my brother's trunk. So now the garage door is stuck into his trunk in the car in the house.
Okay.
Yeah, Nick, you have a question.
I do have I have a theory. This is the best thing this is all I can come up with. You know how a T-Rex eyes can only see things in motion? Maybe she had that same thing, right? Because she's only running into things that are dead stopped, right? Sorry, Brandi.
Well, she had the arms and couldn't.
Also, being the size of a T-Rex makes it very hard to be in a human car.
Or maybe there was a T-Rex in the car.
So when I was 15, I was, I had my permit, and we had a 2-car garage that had like the column in the middle, and like it was an old like wooden, wood frame garage. And so my mom was like taking the garbage bin down our long driveway or something. So I was like, I'll pull the car out and then like straighten it. And I pulled out, reversed, fine, stopped. and then, gently put the accelerator on, and it was fine. It was going forward. But then, I hadn't driven much, so I just panicked, and I was like, I just quickly had a brain fart. 'Cause it was like 7:15 in the morning, and I was like, you know what? My brain just said, do it like a bike, and I just let it coast into the garage where it just broke the middle frame, and we had to get a new garage door. My brain just went, well, just take your feet off the pedals.
Yeah.
You're not making it worse, but also you should put your foot. I forgot. I was just so used to riding a bike.
There's a lot of vehicles. You're not right. There's a lot of vehicles where that would be the right thing to do, right?
And you're 15, you don't drive that often.
Yeah. It is kind of crazy that a car just, I will say this, it is, I think, defensible that a child wouldn't necessarily understand. It's weird that a car just goes, right? You put it in drive and then it just goes. You don't have to push your foot on the gas for the car to go. It just goes. That's weird from a design perspective, I think. I'm gonna write my congressman.
You want golf cart rules in all cars, which is when you stop.
I should mention though the climax of the whole thing was we're all being nice, and then the party happened, and it's the most awkward. The whole party's all sad now. It's just a sad story in the car, and she's gone, right? She's bolted, so she's not there anymore, and because she has to deal with everything.
Is her car still there?
Yeah, in the house.
At this point, you kind of just have to pretend like it was a design choice.
Yeah.
You have to be like, this is what we meant for this to look like this.
Right. Well, I know it doesn't look like it, but that car is completely made out of artist's blood. It's 100% art blood.
27 pints.
Blood car.
Blood car.
We had lived in Arizona at the time, so the houses are stucco. And that's where we really learned, the quality of the house is just cardboard. It's like hollow cardboard when it crumbles. So but when finally at the end, everyone was still being nice to her and she left. And right at the end, I was little. So I got my zing in because I called her, thanks for coming, Mrs. Gopal. I didn't say auntie.
Oh,
savage.
Oh, gosh, rude.
You're out of the family.
Yeah. Like you're not allowed into Olive Garden.
You're not family anymore.
Oh man, that's incredible. That's incredible.
Jeez.
That's so crazy that people can be that okay. If I did that, I would be mortified. Right? I would be just I don't even know what I would do. I'd be so upset that for her to be like, oh, no big deal, I'll pay for it. You're like, yeah, it's not really a money thing. I mean, it is, but it's this is my house. This is
and this is literally our celebration of having it.
Yeah.
And you broke it.
You just realized it's breakable like that. It's like a gingerbread house.
So how long did it take before the car got removed and you were able to open the garage door?
I mean, it was a 3-step process of unhinging the car from the door from the other car.
Did she ever come back to get her car?
She got 2 days later, and in meantime, it's not a safe house. So I forget if we went to a hotel or what happened.
Yeah.
I feel like you guys get to keep the car. That should be the rule.
This is our car now.
Yeah,
you break the house, we get it.
Yeah. Especially
She
during the
couldn't
house.
go to traffic school that weekend because her car was stuck in the house.
It's still there, in jail, traffic prison right now. 20 years later.
Oh,
Man.
So bad.
Was she
Oh,
historically a bad driver that you were aware of, or?
I mean, I guess, but not. I don't know. I wasn't on auntie patrol all year. I don't know what. But
I shouldn't tell this story because she might watch this. But I have a real aunt, my mom's older sister, who lives in New York, and when I was younger, and she would have cars, or even when she would borrow our cars when she'd come to Wisconsin, she'd consistently get into accidents. I can't remember being with her in a car where she didn't get into an accident. And I'm just like, maybe you shouldn't drive. Like, she gave up a car maybe like 15 years ago, and that was a really good idea.
There's somebody, I won't mention any names, but there's somebody in our community who I will not get in a car with because they get in accidents, and I'm like, nope, just not gonna happen.
Tell me later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, in the post-show show.
No, I just want to know. I don't even know.
Yeah. We'll talk about it in the Discord. Everybody in the Discord after the show.
Dark secret, it's Jerry
the
Seinfeld.
hot-
I'm just going to say it. I know we shouldn't say it. It's Jerry Seinfeld. Don't get in a car with Jerry Seinfeld.
Don't get coffee with Jerry Seinfeld.
That is,
Yeah.
it's amazing
Not a
how
good
they
idea.
edit the accidents out of every
Right.
episode of his show.
Money, baby, money.
That's why he always has a new car. My thought during that story is that it's another one of those things that, like, you think only happens in movies. You don't believe cars actually go into the sides of buildings, but like, why not? They can, they do in real life, but like until it actually happened, that just does not seem real.
An old woman drove through my friend who's a comic up here, his bedroom wall. Like, he was watching. Unfortunately, he wasn't there. He was in the living room, but all of a sudden, like, this car, he sent pictures, and it was like the bumper on his bed. And I'm like, that could have been really bad.
So I was asleep at my house in upstate New York, and my sister came running into the room, and she was like, wake up, there's a car in the pond. And I'm like, what? And I go and I run to the window, and sure enough, our friend's car is there's a sheet of ice on the pond, but it had broken through the ice and was slowly sinking into the pond. And what had happened was my father had borrowed our friend's car, had parked it in our parking area, but had not put the emergency brake on.
Oh God!
And it popped into neutral and just rolled down the hill. And by the time we all saw it, it was in the water and sinking. And had to pay insurance. I think my dad had to pay the insurance to get like them a new car, which sucks.
Yeah.
How old were you at the time, Ben? How old were you and your sister?
I was probably 14 or 15.
I love that your sister came to get you first. I love that.
Oh, she knew I was going to be so excited about it. And I was thrilled. My dad was not, but I was. When you get to see that, right? And like when you're 14, you're like, I didn't do it. I have nothing to do with it. My dad fucked up, which is rare, right? Usually it's me fucking up.
Yep.
So I couldn't revel in that, and nor did I want to revel in my dad's fucking up. I just wanted to revel in the fact that there was a car in the
nobody
pond.
was in it. It was like everyone was safe, so that's hilarious.
Exactly, 100%. Yeah,
I mean,
and it's
there was
like
a lot of
happening
screaming in the
slowly.
trunk, but it was fine.
Yeah.
Did they just leave the car in the pond at that point, or is that like littering behind?
It's still there. It's now a reef. No, they had to. They had to get
It's actually
out.
they filled it up with
blood.
50 pints of blood
Yeah.
and froze it and just froze it.
Car head.
Y'all, that's the image we're going to end the show on right there.
Blood
We're
car.
short on time, and blood car, I think.
Truly a bloodmobile.
Is it? There it is. Bloodmobile. We talked a lot about death and dying and bodies and blood and all sorts of crazy accidents and excuses getting out of school. I love it. There was so much that was really, really fun. I want to thank all of you for spending your Tuesday evening hanging out with me. It was really, really great. I want to thank everybody watching in the chat. Follow and subscribe to 2MB Studios. We have over 20 shows 7 days a week. So give us a follow so you can know what's coming up, and subscribe to our channel and give us some dollars so we can keep this going for you.
Thanks, Lex Crypto, for giving out 5 Tier 1 community subscriptions during the show. Earlier in the show. Thank you for that.
Big ups to Lex Crypto, for that. We really appreciate that. And we really appreciate all of you for coming on the show. Michelle, Nick, Shruti, Brandi, Adi. Thanks so much. Matt, of course. Till next time, I'm Ben. Bye, everybody.
Bye.